Welcome, everyone, to another fabulous episode of Open Book Broadcast. I'm Allie, your host from The Right Place, Right Time, which is my virtual boutique of ghostwriting and writing coaching services. I am so excited to be here today on Open Book Broadcast, where we talk about anything and everything, writing and publishing and all the things in between. And we're an open book about it. We like to get real with our guests. We have fabulous conversations here. We talk about their writing journeys or their place in the industry. And today's guest, I have Paveena Posang. Welcome, Paveena. It's so nice to have you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here. I'm so excited and happy to be here, Ali,
Oh my
and
gosh, so
everyone.
excited to have you. So we have to do Paveena's official bio because it's so freaking impressive and so fabulous. So I'm going to read her bio so that you all know just how rock star our guest is, and then we'll jump into our conversation. So Dr. Paveena Posang immigrated from Thailand 41 years ago. She is a retired family physician with training in energy healing, Reiki and Quantum touch. She's a U.S. veteran who served in the U.S. Air Force as a lieutenant colonel. She is an inspirational teacher, health and wellness coach, and a Reiki master teacher. She wrote her first book as she shared her life story in Whispering of the Light, which was recently published in May of 2022. And she inspires people to live their beautiful light as warriors of life and immortal souls with infinite wisdom. Oh, such a delicious last line of your bio.
Thank you, Ali.
So I want to know first, let's get everybody on the same page with what you mean about warriors of life and immortal souls with infinite wisdom.
What I mean is I guess because of my spiritual upbringing, I kind of learned throughout my life that this is not the only time we have been on earth. We have
Mm,
been here so many times, and if you read my book, I guess through some of the kind of mystical experiences I went through, seeing some of my my past life. So I feel like all of us has been here on earth more than once.
yeah,
And each time we come, we probably have like set up things that we learn, accomplish, and or missions,
yeah.
to accomplish each time, and then we come back and try to either repeat the same mission, or we sign up for new missions. So I feel all of us are here not the first time, and if we silence our mind and and kind of go deep into our intuition, a lot of things in life we already have answers. We already have been through maybe the same
Mm,
experiences before, but sometimes with our life, so many stressful situations may kind of make us be in that a circle of stress and anxiety.
mm,
Sometimes we have to kind of quiet our mind and kind of listen to our higher self, that our higher being and our team, that always been there with us, and our experiences that actually within our soul, not just from this life but many lifetimes ago. This is how I believe.
yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it. So Pavina's book, Whispering of the Light, is just absolutely fascinating. And Pavina, that just came out recently, right? That was just this May. So just a
Right,
handful of months ago,
right.
right?
Just
And you published with was it an imprint of Hayhouse or was it Hayhouse itself
Hayhouse, Balboa Press is like the within Hayhouse.
within Hayhouse? Okay.
Right.
And tell us a little bit about your experience of working with them and bringing this book to life.
When I started wanting to write a book, I think it's been something like that happened to me all through my life, and I really, really want to do something. The universe will send the right people at the right time, and I have never heard of a house before, and I have a list of kind of different publishers in mind, or through my Google.
Yeah.
And here, right before I was getting ready to choose one, I had to, take a trip to go visit my good friends in Utah. And then she was talking to me about Hayhouse and how, how they kind of what is it? They support this type of kind of spiritual type of book. So I reach out to them and then I look at their website and I really love the way they do things. So that's how everything kind of started. And that they have different packages that I was into inspiring the world. And then when I saw the package said inspiring, I said, "Oh, that's it.
That's it. That's
That's
it.
it."
Oh my gosh, I love it. So Pavina and I are definitely of the same cloth when it comes to the idea that like certain things happen at a time and they're little gifts from the universe.
Mhm.
And so I think, that's really Pavina how, we connected through your sister. But I think when we had our own conversation, I think where we really connected was kind of like the spiritual belief that, things line up for us and that there are greater divine meaning and lessons that we're here to learn and work that we're here to do. And so I just love that,
Mhm.
like, you recognize in your own publishing journey that, it was just like the right people and right things showed up at the right time and kind of like nudged you along in the direction. And that's how you knew like you were in the right place. Um, have you always wanted to write a book?
That uh maybe more in the past few years, but I always love books. I told you, I think about my trying to reach the library when I was
Yes. Tell
little.
everybody else though. This is such
Um,
a fabulous story. So tell
yeah,
everybody
because
else about trying to reach the
growing up
library.
in Thailand, of course, we were so limited, I mean, limited in stuff, but not, but we were so creative. We didn't feel limited. But anyway, we never had books. So, at 5, 6, 7, 8, I always was the storytellers for my, little sisters, my cousins, and my neighbors. I would sit, and then I would have all these children around me and I would create a story in my mind and, make them happy. And you met my sister, Dr. Sass, and she remembers some of my stories. And she said, some of those stories took me out of sadness and depression and all of that. But
Mhm.
anyway, so when I wanted to read a book, the library was so far from our house, it would take me the whole day to get there. So, in the morning, like 5 in the morning, I woke up with the rooster. And of course, we didn't have alarm system there. The rooster was our alarm system. So I kind of snuck off from the house and walk, through the all day, through the tropical heat until I got to the library. And of course, sometime when the sun come up, it was so hot, so I kind of had to stop at the waterfall, cool myself down, and nicely some of the houses they had water in clay pot in front of their house, and they had like coconut shell that we use as a cup to kind of drink the water. So I would go all day without eating and able to survive because of those, the water from those clay pots. But anyway, when I get to the library, I kind of lose myself of reading the books there, and then and in the evening I would come home, but and of course nobody knew I I was gone for the whole day, because my mom was a single mom. She was so busy with so many jobs, and I always out there somewhere in in nature or at my grandparents. I mean, at my aunt, uncles, and other grandparents. Because my mom had like 8 brothers and sisters, and their houses were around us.
Wow. Oh my gosh, so many people in one place. So where did your love of reading come from? Where did it stem from, do you think?
I think it seems like it's just deep in my soul. I just born with love of readings, and especially poetry.
Oh, poetry.
I think that those books, the poetry,
Mm.
books were calling me, said, "Paveena, come and read me."
Yeah,
I can hear their calling.
I love it. I love it. Do you have a favorite, did you have a favorite poet then as a child, and is that still your favorite poet now,
I
or has
don't
it
even
changed?
remember
No,
it
okay.
because I was so young.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when I grew up, since I was as a family physician, I was reading more of medical books until
Mm.
just recently I able to start to read all the books. And I love your book, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
and spend more time, reading all the books beside medical.
Yeah.
But, I kinda always wanted to write a book, starting, especially during my, being a physician, during my, career.
Mhm.
'Cause, I normally would spend a little bit more time with, teenagers, 'cause I went through quite a bit of tough challenges. I think growing up, had more, what is it? More challenges, more lesson of life growing up. So I kind of share with my patients, especially the teenagers, and because they have a lot of challenges of their own, even though but I still was hoping that my stories when I was growing up would help them, and some of the stories seem to help them
Yeah.
because I really don't like to use medications in kids so much. I would bring them back more often and just talk to them, and seem like my experiences help them. So I kind of told myself I'm gonna have to write a book, and hoping that if my book will find one person that make them feel better or have a better days, then
Yeah.
that would be a success for me.
Now, you waited to write your book until you were kind of recently retired, right?
Right, right.
Okay, so what were some of the, like, taps on the shoulder that you were getting when it came to, like, now's the time? Like, it's time to write the book.
I
Was
kinda
there, like, did it come to you in a vision or a dream or a prayer, or was it more just a knowing?
I kinda started a little bit during my career, like a few words here and there, and then when the time is right, not sure, I think maybe that happened to you too, Ali. I kinda woke up with words. I kinda have to run to, my journey, I mean, my journal book, and kinda write them down.
Mhm.
So I really recommend, having like a like a journal book, and when you wake up in the morning, it just comes, words just come. And sometime when I go back and I read it in my book, I did not remember writing it down.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I think I feel like some of them is coming from intuition
Yep.
from
Yep.
my team.
Yeah, I hear that. I feel like there were parts of writing Dear Universe that,
Mhm,
flowed so easily to the page that I knew that I had to have been connected differently or more in the
mhm,
flow than, like, really, like, thinking and laboring over it. There were just some things that just kind of gushed out and, felt
mhm.
very fluid and natural.
Yes.
Um, what was the most rewarding part of writing your book, and what was the most challenging part of writing your book?
The most rewarding, I just feel like, my words when I write, or speak, even during my career, I try to be kind. I
Mhm.
try to inspire people. I try to empower people, and when I write, I feel like my words will at least inspire someone or empower someone, and I just feel great because that's how I am when I able to lift one spirit. I feel like it's a success. So everywhere I go, I try to at least, be nice to one person around me, and
Yeah.
lift their spirit with my words. And words are powerful.
Yes.
You're very powerful. You can feel the energy within every word. So
Mhm.
that's kind of my, what is it?
Yeah. And what about challenges? Did you find it challenging to work on your book?
Challenges, because I'm using English as my second language. So
Yeah.
I'm trying my best to translate my feeling into English, because some of
Yeah.
them happen in the experience when I was in Thailand, grew up in Thailand. And you know
Right.
how kind of different
Yeah.
culture and different languages give you different vibes and energy and feeling, you know. So I try my best to put that in English and
Yeah.
hoping you will get
So this is a fascinating topic because so I read Whispering of the Light, and I enjoyed it very much.
thank you.
I wondered about your process, knowing that English wasn't your first language, because it's very, very clean. I mean, from just like the spelling, sentence structure, like the English part of it, right? It's very, very cleanly
Thank
written.
you.
So did you work with a number of editors? I mean, who else did you work with, or was this all you and your brilliant mind?
The universe sent me the right people to help me.
Thank goodness for the
Ali, you
universe.
would be the one to help me if I would have known you when I started my book. But you know, when I first came to US in 1981, my English was terrible. I was I was able to, I mean, I spoke a few words, you know. So my English teacher, her name is Sharon Paxton. She
Hmm.
took extra time, and on the weekend she would come to our house and and taught us more how to speak and write English. Because
Wow.
you know me and my sister, brother, my cousins at that time, and when I start writing my book, and I was on Facebook, and she reached out to me and she said she would love to be the editor too. And
Oh my
I
gosh,
said,
how
"Oh my
wonderful.
goodness, the universe sent me the right
Oh my
person,
gosh,
and
amazing.
somebody that I love so much and
Yeah.
helped me from the beginning,
Oh,
who know
wonderful.
me and know my family, you know,
Oh
because
my
she
gosh.
knows our family very well. She's like a
Yeah,
good friend of our family from the
beautiful.
get-go, you
Oh
know."
my gosh, what
Uh,
a beautiful story about writing your story. I mean, just it gives me full body goosebumps to think about this person kind of coming back into your life
Right.
all these years later to help you tell
Yes.
your story in
Yes.
English, when she was the person to help you learn English. What a beautiful little like tie it all up with a bow kind of thing. Wow.
Everything gonna
So,
happen, and actually 2 more steps, and then I had my best friend, Jim Beamer. He's loved to read books, so I kinda made him become my alpha reader. So, and he
nice.
gave some suggestion of, "Okay, you should use this word and that word." And of
Yeah.
course, with the Hayhouse, they had a package that they also went through and then kinda corrected some of
Oh,
the
good.
grammar and all
Okay.
things. So I
Yeah,
kinda had that
excellent.
3 steps help from
Yeah, yeah.
from the universe and
So
everybody.
important. Yeah, so important and so for people who are watching watching this episode, um, if English is not your first language, right? Okay, so learn from Paveena's process. Find the people that you know, like, and trust, who feel like they've got a good command of the language, who can help you polish it up. But then when you're looking at publishers, look for publishers who have packages that are going to include some level of editing so that you can make sure that your language is, really crystal clear, but also that your meaning is what you mean, right? Because as Paveena already mentioned, there can be a difference, like how we might say something in English versus another culture might have very different meanings. uh,
Right.
right. And you want to make sure that you're saying what you mean and you mean what you say. So make sure you've got the right people to help you do that so that your story isn't lost in translation, because your story is really, really powerful and it's the greatest gift that you can give. Paveena, what's been the feedback on your book so far? So it's only been out for a handful of months. What are people saying about your book now that they've started to read it?
I have some of my like teenager that friend of families that reach out and thank me, and it's just warm my heart to hear that the words in the book help them, you know, and some of good friends and some of them from high school that reach out and give positive feedback, and of course my families and you know the and some of my patients as well, and we appreciate them, and I hope that uh, it will, you know, start to be out there and help more people.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, these types of things, these interviews and podcasts and stuff are good ways to like spread the message about your book. Um, So let's talk for a moment about, do you have any tips or suggestions for aspiring authors? So, I mean, you're a first-time author. Are there things that you wish you would have known when you were on the journey that you want to pass on to people who are thinking about doing it?
When you start thinking about writing a book, stop writing a book. That's when you're ready. And when you're ready, when you feel that deep feeling that you're ready to write one, like I said, the universe will send you the right team. Just start, and then have always, have like a journey, a journal book nearby, and always or take it with you. Anything that come in your mind, just write it. Just because for me though, it's normal to go through life that people will encourage to do things that you want to do, and people can discourage you as well. But don't let that stop you, and don't let any limitation stop you, because in this world there is no limitation. In your magnificent life you were born with, you have no limitations. It just, it just take your decision to start doing something, then it will just flow.
My gosh, I love it because I'm constantly telling people you just got to start. You
That's
just
it.
have to
Start.
just have to start. You just have to pick one thing and just start, because starting is the hardest thing. But then once you've started, you just keep building off of that
Let it
momentum.
flow.
So I love that that's your piece of advice. So Paveena, do you think you're going to write another book? Like, is there another book in you?
Possible, because when I went to Thailand last month, I kind of encountered different things that kind of touched my heart, that I probably down the road will write another book.
Yeah,
And
wonderful.
plus sometimes your idea and your thinking can change too. When you go back and read the book, don't be scared to say that, oh, that idea has changed, because we are constantly evolving. We'll change and evolve, and our thinking and our what is that, our belief can change as well.
Yeah,
So don't be scared to, hey, I wrote something. I'm not. I should have changed. It's
I
okay. At
know.
that time, it's the right time to write that sentences.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you said that. It reminds me, so last year, I think it was Christmas time, or maybe yeah, I think it was Christmas time. I got a gift from my fiance. It was called Storyworth.
Uh,
Storyworth is like a subscription where they send you a writing prompt every single week, and you fill out the writing prompt, and it's all questions about your life. And by the time you're done, you have like a book of 52 questions that you've answered about your life that you can then give
uh,
to your family. Um, and as I was writing it, I thought, I'm only 37 right now. Um, I don't know that what I'm saying in these
You're a
questions,
baby.
I'm a baby, yeah, is going to be the way that I'm going to answer these questions if I did the same questions when I'm 80,
Yes,
right?
that
Because
is.
of how our perspectives change, our
Mhm.
insights change, our experiences and lessons shift the way that we think, right? And I still have, like, hopefully another 37 years to go. And so I ended up putting in the front of the book this kind of disclaimer that basically said, like, I'm writing this at 37 years old.
You
So
did.
so these are thoughts from when I'm 37. If you asked me these again, later in my life, I might answer them differently. It was really important for me to know that whoever ended up finding this book or reading it, perhaps after I'm gone, recognize that these are the reflections of somebody at 37, right? With X, Y, or Z life experiences, but there were still so many more life experiences left to happen that might create a different answer to those questions, right? So I think it's really important, right? Our books are forever, and they're kind of like in stone. Once they're out there, they're out there. They're published as they are, but we have to give ourselves a lot of grace and understanding that because we're humans and our journeys allow us to evolve, that the book is a moment in time, really.
Right.
It's however we felt in the moment that we wrote it. And it's still true to where we were then, but it doesn't mean that it has to be true to where we are now, right? I'm so glad that you brought that up. So interesting.
So
Um,
much wisdom at your age, though. You're still a baby.
so much wisdom, even though I'm a baby. You know, I think that's my light, right? Like that's my infinite
Yeah,
wisdom
you're an ozone.
that I have come in. Yes, and that those two words have been used to describe me my entire 37 years.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
Um, and I tend to gravitate towards people who are older than I am. Like
Mhm.
I tend to bond differently with them.
Uh-huh.
Like I have very few people that are
Exactly.
actually my age that I
Uh-huh.
consider friends, because it's like I just belong in some other age group. Like you
That's
belong hanging out with them.
lovely.
So Pavina, where can people find your book? Let's just make sure that we get that out there for
Now it's
folks.
actually everywhere. Amazon, Walmart, Target, Books a Million, Bookstopia, Three Book, and even what is it? Oh, forgot now. It's just out there. I just Google the
Google
whispering
the
of the
title.
light. Because
Google the
last time
title.
I Google whispering of the light. Oh, it's in the different countries. So it's awesome.
It's amazing. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. You
Uh,
know, it's so funny that you say that because I recently checked in with my publisher for Dear Universe to see how sales were going. And she was like, well, interestingly enough, you had some sales in Thailand and India recently.
yeah,
And I
that's
was like,
awesome.
whoa,
That's
this is so
awesome.
cool. I
You know,
was like,
it's awesome to hear that your book go to Thailand because not only they will learn your wisdom, but they also will learn English too.
yeah, I was like, who's in Thailand? Buy my book. Like, I really want to know who these people are, but I don't have that kind of
My
information.
family.
I hope it is your family. Oh my gosh. I love you. I love your sister. I'm sure everybody else is amazing. Um,
Thank you.
Whispering of the Light, that's what people should be Googling. So Whispering of the Light, Paveena Posang, you'll find the title. You can get it in a bunch of different places.
Yes.
And then Paveena, where would you like people to connect with you? Are you on LinkedIn, Facebook? Like where are you hanging out online? I know you're in the middle
Right
of a move.
now, yes,
Um,
right now I'm mostly on Facebook under
okay,
Dr. Paveena Posang. I'm
okay,
also
beautiful.
some on Instagram and LinkedIn as
Okay.
well.
Okay. All right. So she's mostly on Facebook. So go connect with her. Tell her that you saw her on Open Book Broadcast. Tell her about, that you read her book, that you loved her book. Pavina, is there anything else that you want to tell people about? Anywhere where you're going to be speaking or any kind of upcoming anything that you want to let people know about?
Not upcoming engagement soon, but happy holiday to everybody, and
Wonderful.
live your magnificent light. You were born here on earth to create and be happy and be joyful, and that's what I want to get the message out there.
Wonderful. And could there be
Enjoy your
anything better than
holidays.
being happy and joyful? All right, everyone. So the main thing is go check out Whispering of the Light, support Pavina as an independent
Thank you.
author and first-time author. Go grab her book, let her know that you loved it. Pavina, thank you so much for being with us
Thank you
on Open
so
Book
much, Ali, and
Broadcast.
everybody, for having me here. Have a wonderful upcoming holidays, everybody. Bye
Yes,
bye.
wonderful. All right. Bye, everyone.